This page is the cover of Sega Saturn Fan Magazine, issue number 7 from 1998, priced at 550 yen. The cover prominently features Sakura Shinguji from Sakura Wars, highlighting the sequel, Sakura Wars 2, with a large title graphic and a tagline about wanting to see you again. The magazine boasts immediate release news, including a Sega new title announcement for Deep Fear and Bacon Loader. It also teases expected works such as The House of the Dead, Dragon Force 2, Goat Absent Land, Super Robot Wars, F Complete Edition, Mobile Suit Gundam, Giran's Ambition, Becoming Japan's National Team Manager, Falcom Classics 2, Langrisser V, and Let's Go by Train. A special reversible poster featuring Neon Genesis Evangelion, Girlfriend of Steel and Sakura Wars 2 is also advertised. This page features the iconic Sagata Sanshiro on the left, standing among falling cherry blossoms and holding a scroll proclaiming Sega Saturn Shiro, promoting the console. On the right, the page highlights the Spring of Masterpieces, with several highly anticipated Sega Saturn titles teased on the cover. Leading the charge is Sakura Wars 2, Thou Shalt Not Die, showcasing its strategic RPG gameplay and vibrant character art, continuing the beloved story of the Imperial Assault Force against new threats. Next up is the thrilling arcade horror port, The House of the Dead, plunging players into a terrifying mansion filled with grotesque creatures and non-stop zombie blasting action. For sports fans, Pro Baseball Greatest 998 is featured, presented as the definitive baseball sim for the year with various modes and legendary players, alongside Sega Worldwide Soccer 98, offering global football action with numerous national and club teams. Finally, Neon Genesis Evangelion, Girlfriend of Steel expands the Evangelion universe with a new side story, promising a high-quality visual novel experience with familiar characters and impressive production values. Additional content includes a promotion for the theatrical release of Evangelion films and an announcement for the Sagata Sanshiro theme song CIUD, which is a must-have for any fan. The page also briefly mentions a Sega Saturn Festa event. This page showcases the King of Fighters 97, the popular fighting game entry from SNK. The feature promotes it as the latest in the series, and a perfect port for the Sega Saturn console, highlighting the dramatic Revenge of Orochi storyline central to this installment. The dynamic artwork features key characters involved in the saga, including Kyo Kusanagi, Iori Yagami, and Chizuru Kagura. The page also mentions a special bundle related to a room cartridge, which refers to the Sega Saturn's RAM expansion required to bring the arcade game's complex animation and large character roster faithfully to the home console. This page features the magazine's table of contents and an advertisement. The main contents list highlights major features, including deep dives into Sakura Wars 2, Thou Shalt Not Die, and the arcade horror hit, The House of the Dead. Previews cover upcoming titles like Deep Fear, Dragon Force 2, and Revolutionary Girl Utena. The page also details special reports on various games including Mobile Suit Gundam, Giran's Ambition and Langrisser V, new releases like Riven, the sequel to Myst and Phantasy Star Collection, ongoing series, strategies for games like Burning Ranger and even The Lost One, and the magazine's regular ranking sections. The left side is an advertisement for Takara's Choro Q Park, a racing game now available for the Saturn. This page presents a massive, two-page special feature dedicated entirely to Sakura Wars 2, titled Comprehensive Special Feature, with the subtitle from the game itself, Thou Shalt Not Die. This spread kicks off a comprehensive 16-page deep dive into Sega's highly anticipated sequel. The feature promises a complete breakdown of the game's systems, both new and old, covering the opening sequences, the adventure segments, and the tactical simulation battles, each previewed with screenshots and indicated page numbers for more detail. It also highlights a significant interview with the Sega development producer, Mr. Oba. The right side of the spread features beautiful full-page artwork of the main heroine, Sakura Shinguji, ready for action with her sword. The left page also includes a brief summary of game details, noting its April 4th release date, price, genre, and that it spans 3 discs, showcasing the sheer volume of content packed into this title. This is the ultimate preview for fans eagerly awaiting the game's launch. This page delves further into the world of Sakura Wars 2, highlighting the game's stunning visual presentation and structural elements. It showcases the beautiful flowing animation of the opening sequences, noting that the theme song arrangement has been updated from the first game, and teases the openings for the subsequent discs. The page also provides a structural breakdown of a typical episode, outlining the flow from adventure segments to tactical simulation battles and boss fights, confirming you can save your progress throughout. A story overview briefly reintroduces the setting and the role of the Imperial Combat Review. Multiple screenshots feature the courageous heroines and their powerful Kubukai mechs in action, emphasizing their duty to protect the city. There's also a mention of related CD releases for the game's music and insights from development producer Mr. Oba about the game's opening, ending, and the length of its animated sequences. This page dives into significant new features introduced in the adventure segments of Sakura Wars 2, designed to deepen player immersion and interaction. It showcases the Kinematron, a new communication device developed by Kuran. This steam-powered portable TV phone allows Ogagami to freely converse with team members, listen to radio broadcasts, and, crucially, speak with multiple characters simultaneously, and even contact those far away. Screenshots demonstrate various characters like Sakura, Kuran, Iris, Kana, and Maria using the device for calls and interactions. Furthermore, the page details a more refined time system, where a clock is displayed on the Imperial map. This system concretely links actions to time, with each player action costing 5 minutes. This structure means players can take up to 6 actions within a 30-minute period, making time management and planning crucial. Events in the game are now explicitly tied to specific times or limited within certain time windows. Examples shown include meeting Sumair on the stage or finding Kana cooking in the kitchen, where arriving at the wrong time means missing the event or character. The developer notes confirm this explicit time system makes planning actions and discovering events more intuitive compared to the previous game. This page delves deeper into the adventure segments of Sakura Wars 2, focusing on the player's influence and interaction methods. It introduces the Ogami Personality Gauge, a key meter that sits below the message window. This gauge reflects whether Captain Ogami is leaning towards hard-boiled, represented by blue, or soft-boiled, represented by pink, changing based on the player's choices in dialogue and actions. This personality influences how characters react to you throughout the game. The page then details the evolution of the LIPS, Live Interactive Picture System, which is now more complex and deeply affects conversations and character emotions. Several types are highlighted. Double lips, where multiple choices appear simultaneously under a time limit, forcing quick strategic decisions. Timing lips, where the available choices change over time within a limited window. And click lips, which requires clicking on parts of the screen to search or interact. Running out of time on any timed lips also has consequences. A developer commentary section emphasizes that while the core story remains consistent, Origami's personality and lips choices significantly impact character reactions, raise or lower affinity levels, and alter the overall feel and subtle nuances of conversations. Both hard-boiled and soft-boiled approaches are valid ways for the player to experience the game and develop unique relationships with the Flower Division members. This page dives into the expanded world of Sakura Wars 2, giving players a tour of the newly renovated Grand Imperial Theater. The theater is significantly larger than in the previous game, with more rooms to explore and interact within. It covers areas like the first floor, with its functional rooms like the lobby and dining hall, and the second floor dedicated to the Flower Division members' private living quarters, showing how each room is uniquely decorated. The page also highlights character movement within the theater map, noting that unlike the first game where only Ogami's SD super deformed character was shown, now multiple characters appear and follow Ogami, making navigation feel more lively. Finally, it details the eye-catch screen, a menu accessible at key points where players can review crucial game data. This includes the Combat Journal for saving and loading progress and viewing playtime, and the Affinity and Battle Performance screen, which displays character relationships, affinity levels, and their combat effectiveness ratings, including stat bonuses, offering valuable insight into the team's status and performance. This page shifts focus from the social life within the Grand Imperial Theater to the intense simulation battles of Sakura Wars 2. It highlights the appeal of the game's enhanced strategic system and the power of the flashy special attacks unleashed by each character. The section dives into the simulation scenes, showcasing how characters like Maria Tachibana utilize powerful ranged attacks such as Pikavaya Dama, which translates to Queen of Spades, featuring multiple shots ending with a devastating blow. Soletta Orihime, piloting her Eisenkleid, demonstrates Quattro Stagioni, 4 seasons, an attack that deals wide area damage. Kirishima Kana, a successor of the Ryukyu Skyhand style, unleashes Sanshin Tenju, a dynamic martial arts technique involving strikes, kicks, and a final body blow. The page explains that these powerful special attacks are performed by consuming a spirit gauge that builds up during combat, adding a strategic layer to battles by timing when to use these devastating moves. It visually represents these attacks with dynamic screenshots, emphasizing the graphical spectacle of the game's combat system. This page introduces Kanzaki Sumair, daughter of a wealthy family. Known for her use of the Naginata and the powerful Kanzaki Fujin Ryu Renshaku no Mai attack, it visually showcases her dynamic special move. Moving into the battle system, the page explains how the trust built between Ogami and the squad members in the adventure sections directly impacts their combat capabilities. Higher trust boosts stats like attack, defense, and mobility, making battles significantly easier. This trust can even change mid-battle through LIPS events. New strategic layers are highlighted, including the operation meeting before battle, where choices affect objectives and troop placement, and the powerful cooperative attack feature, allowing two characters to combine forces under specific conditions. Ogami also gains leader commands based on the classic wind, forest, fire, mountain concept, letting you shift the entire squad's focus to different stats depending on the situation. Finally, visual cues like character expressions and effects around their mechs are noted as indicators of trust and durability status, adding another layer of tactical awareness. This page features an interview with the producer of Sakura Wars 2. It includes character art for Sakura Shinguji, Iris, and Lini, along with various screenshots showing battle sequences, adventure scenes, and character interactions. The interview touches upon the game's connection to the first Sakura Wars, allowing players to revisit past choices and relationships. It details the adventure part, mentioning seasonal events and how player decisions impact character bonds and story progression. The battle system is also discussed, noting the increased difficulty and enhanced simulation elements, including new leader commands. New characters like Orihime, Lekani, Suisen, and the demon figure are highlighted. The producer, Owaniba, shares insights into the development process and offers a final message to players, expressing confidence in the game's quality and encouraging them to experience it. This page features a special emergency feature on the Sega Saturn release of The House of the Dead. The left side showcases dramatic artwork of the main character, Agent G, fighting off zombies, emphasizing the game's horror theme with the tagline, "On that day, we were in hell." It confirms the game's release on the platform and provides basic information like the publisher, price, genre, gun shooting, and player count. The right side offers a digest guide for Stage 4, the game's final stage, promising to reveal all its mysteries. It covers the linear path through the final research facility, detailing encounters with enemies and strategy for the boss, the Hanged Man, suggesting tactics similar to earlier fights. The guide then describes the challenging segment after breaking through the final defense line, highlighting durable enemies appearing in pairs. A significant point is the return of two earlier bosses, the Chariot and the Hanged Man, in a large plaza, prompting speculation about their nature. Finally, it reveals the existence of a hidden room in Stage 4, accessible by saving all researchers throughout the game, which contains valuable items like medikits and gold frogs to aid players. It's a crucial guide for players looking to conquer the final level and uncover its secrets. This page delves into the climactic battle and underlying narrative of The House of the Dead. On the left, it focuses entirely on the final boss, Type 0 Magician. It details the encounter, highlighting its devastating fireball attack, noting its height, weight, and weak point are unknown. The unit information reveals the magician is the first sample of Dr. Kurian's artificial life forms, programmed for absolute obedience but possessing incredible speed and control over fire. A section questions the mystery behind its actions, specifically killing Kurians, suggesting external manipulation or a program alteration. The right side broadens the scope, encouraging players to engage with the game's setting and character relationships for a deeper experience, emphasizing the story's dramatic elements. It provides profiles for the main characters, Agent 1 Thomas Rogan, Agent 2 Grams, researcher Sophie Richards, and the antagonist, Curia, briefly outlining their roles and backgrounds. A character relationship chart visually maps the connections between these individuals, the DBR staff, a mysterious man, and the artificial life forms, indicating relationships like alliances, authority, control, and surveillance. Finally, A section titled, "What is DBR?" explains the DBR Institute's true nature as a secretive government research body focused on genetic recombination and bioweapon creation, where researchers were forced to participate, adding context to the game's horrifying events. This page features an in-depth discussion with the development staff responsible for porting the arcade hit, The House of the Dead, to the Sega Saturn. The team, including the director, designers, and programmers, share their experiences and challenges in bringing the Model 2 arcade experience to the home console. A key priority was ensuring the character motion was faithfully reproduced, which was a significant technical feat. The article also touches on features they had hoped to include in the Saturn version but couldn't, such as specific branching paths, an underwater combat scene, and detailed character selection options, often due to time or hardware constraints. Finally, there's a look at the memorable TV commercial for the game, featuring Sega's legendary spokesperson, Sagata Sanshiro, battling zombies in a style quite different from the game itself, providing a lighter promotional take on the horror title. The staff express hope that players will enjoy the Saturn version and challenge themselves with the arcade original if they get the chance. This page announces Wacken Rotor, a new large-scale simulation RPG from Sega for the Saturn, describing it as featuring professionals gathered from various fields. The game is set in a decadent future society. A major highlight is the involvement of celebrated illustrator Range Murata as the character designer, known for works like the Gekijo Reiho series and Blue Submarine No. 6, and world-renowned sculptor and modeler Takayuki Takeya handling sculpture and mech design, known for his detailed biological and mechanical creations. The article serves as a first report, introducing these key staff members and providing an overview of the game. Screenshots show the distinctive character art, a detailed sculptural piece, and isometric gameplay scenes suggesting tactical combat. Basic game details indicate it's a single-player simulation RPG planned for a summer release. This page continues the introduction to Wacken Rotor, detailing the artistic talent behind its visuals. Renowned illustrator Range Murata is highlighted as the character designer, his distinctive style evident in the protagonist, heroine, and sub-characters shown. World-class sculptor Takayuki Takeya is also featured, responsible for the game's intricate sculpted models, particularly the steampunk-inspired mechs and environmental pieces like the imposing dam. The article explains the game's unique visual production method. Murata's character designs are brought to life through Takeya's physical sculpting, and these detailed miniatures are then integrated with CG to create the stunning in-game SFX and movie sequences. The page showcases examples of Murata's character art, Takeya's elaborate sculpted models of characters and vehicles, and impressive CG renders that combine these elements, demonstrating this innovative blend of illustration, sculpting, and digital rendering. This page delves into the core gameplay mechanics of Wacken Rotor, focusing on its simulation RPG combat. It highlights how the game utilizes fully 3D polygon battlefields, which introduces significant strategic depth. The elevation of the terrain is crucial. Being at a higher position provides an advantage in combat, while lower positions are weaker. This adds a vertical dimension to tactical planning. The article also discusses the battle system itself. Victory conditions aren't always simply defeating all enemies. Objectives can vary, requiring players to achieve specific goals like rescuing an NPC or escaping the area, adding variety to missions. Combat involves 3D character models performing actions, and there's mention of a unique attack system possibly involving a heat gauge or meter influencing attack power. Movement is limited per turn, and different attack types are available, suggesting varying power levels. The page also shows a simplified character information display, detailing basic stats like HP, MP, level, and a character type. Overall, the combat is presented as highly strategic, leveraging the 3D environments and unique system elements. This page unveils the upcoming title, Deep Fear, presented as a deep-sea horror suspense game from Sega. Set within the confines of the underwater base known as Big Table in the Mariana Trench, the known objective is simply survival. The narrative unfolds following a mysterious object falling into the Pacific, leading to an investigation by the submarine Sea Fox. Upon arriving at Big Table, an incident occurs after replenishment, causing the Sea Fox to crash into the base's Navy area and crippling the air supply. Strange creatures emerge, and a rescue company is dispatched to aid survivors. The page hints at something sinister awakening within the base. Visuals include glimpses of the grotesque mutated creatures and the dark, confined underwater environments. Despite the preview, many details, including the specific genre and game system, are stated to be still top secret. The development status is also uncertain. The page builds anticipation around how the confirmed theme of horror will be implemented in this survival story. This page unveils Dragon Force 2, which is nearing its release date. The focus here is on the game's opening movie, the extensive voice acting, and a reveal of early event details for 4 of the game's nations. A major highlight is the impressive voice cast, credited with significantly enhancing the characters' personalities. The game features hours of voice dialogue, not only for event scenes but also for character interactions before battles. Several voice actors are featured, sharing comments about their roles and the experience, including those for characters like Kaid, Riri, Shirin, and others. The page also provides a table listing the rulers and deputies for various nations, along with their respective voice actors. Dragon Force 2 is confirmed as a simulation RPG. This page continues the coverage of Dragon Force 2, diving deeper into the game's world and characters. It focuses on 2 prominent nations: the Highland Kingdom, noted as the oldest country on the Legendora continent, and the Fantalasia Kingdom, home to the feared Dogul tribe. The Highland Kingdom section introduces its ruler, Airbells, and key figures like Shirin, Dora, Appleprith, and Carle, detailing their personalities and relationships within the court, highlighting bonds of loyalty, adoration, sibling ties, and even rivalry. Screenshots show the game's internal affairs menu. The Fantalasia Kingdom is presented as a nation of the Dogul tribe, featuring their ruler, parts, and generals such as Dario, Ansuo, Giuseppe, Giovanni, and Stefano, along with their relationships involving loyalty, distrust, and love. This section includes a map screenshot showing a ruined castle location. The bottom of the page teases several early game op events, which seem to be significant story moments. These events include the start of the Wheels of Fate, the return of the evil spirit user Grace, a tragic battle concerning a blind woman named Fiena, and a mysterious invitation from Delcia of the Demon Tribe. These sections provide a glimpse into the dramatic narrative awaiting players. This page continues our deep dive into Dragon Force 2, highlighting 2 more distinct nations vying for power. First up is the Topaz Kingdom, framed here as a group of resistance fighters pushing back against an oppressive king. Their leader is Shen, head of the Red Forest Corps, known for his rough but sincere personality. He's supported by a cast of loyal followers, including the twin sisters Leela and Lily, who have strong feelings for him, the skilled archer Iron, the capable former chef Chinran, the vengeful refugee Filippo, and the ever-smiling Hubei. An early event shows Shen and his group rising up against King Giron, leading to conflict with the king's forces. Next, we explore the Izumo Kingdom, a nation of samurai and ninjas who highly value decorum. The ruler is Kaide, a skilled swordsman whose talent attracts many. Her key figures include the boisterous old retainer Kansuke, the fiercely loyal warrior Shigeru, the bandy-trazed Fujimaru, and her childhood friend and fellow ninja, Megumi. The Izumo storyline kicks off with Kaid and Megumi heading out to find a strong husband for Kaid, leading them to travel towards the Bozak Kingdom after hearing about a loud character named Genghis. The page gives us a great look at the diverse personalities and relationships within these 2 nations, and teases exciting opening events for their campaigns. This page features a further report on the Sega Saturn adventure game, Revolutionary Girl Utena, the story that will someday be revolutionized. The focus is placed squarely on the game's graphical evolution, showcasing comparisons between earlier development screenshots and the latest visuals. Developer JC Staff has clearly pushed to refine the graphics to a satisfying level, improving character detail, text presentation, and overall image quality, aiming to capture the distinct aesthetic of the anime. The report also provides a glimpse into the game's introductory sequence, detailing Utena's transfer to Otori Academy, and the beginning of her journey, illustrated by screenshots of dialogue and scenes with key characters. A large, dramatic illustration of Utena and Ikio End of the World reinforces the game's visual style. The page also includes minor details about the game's release and a promotional giveaway. This page introduces a new project from Sega and Enix. Let's become the manager of the Japan national team, proudly billed as the world's first soccer RPG. As the manager, your ultimate goal is to lead Japan to victory in the International Cup. The game mixes tactical soccer gameplay with RPG elements, allowing you to explore a map between matches to gather information, scout players, and build your team. Winning matches grants experience points to level up your manager and players. You have detailed control over team strategy, including checking player stats, setting formations, giving individual instructions, and executing tactical plans like set pieces. The game promises a deep management experience featuring teams from 42 countries worldwide, blending strategic depth with classic RPG progression. This page delves deeper into the RPG aspects of Let's Become the Manager of the Japan National Team, showing how you explore the world to gather information. Wandering through various cities and countries is crucial for success. You'll visit shops to purchase items that power up your players and manager, boosting abilities and providing tactical advantages. Bars are places to interact with locals, gather intelligence on rival players, and connect with fans, influencing team popularity. Hotels serve as essential save points for your progress. Residences can offer valuable information or trigger story events. You can also interact with the soccer association to schedule friendly matches, confirm results, and discover talented players through scouting. Stadiums are where the main events happen. Match days and important tournaments. Making contributions to foundations can improve the team's reputation and attract better players. Finally, the training camp allows you to refine your team's skills, set formations, and develop tactical plans. This exploration and interaction are key to building a strong team and leading Japan to victory, emphasizing that success isn't just on the pitch, but also in managing relationships and resources off it. This page features a special report on the upcoming simulation RPG Langrisser V, The End of Legend. Dominating the spread is stunning character art showcasing the main cast, including Sigma, Omega, Alfred, Claret, Lambda, Brenda, Reinforces, and Villars. Brief profiles accompany each character, giving a glimpse into their roles and personalities. The article highlights this entry as the highly anticipated fifth installment and the conclusion to the long-running Langrisser series. It promises to unravel all the lingering mysteries from previous games, bringing the epic saga of the Holy Sword Langrisser and demonic sword Alhazard to its final, climactic battle between the forces of light and darkness. A small screenshot provides a look at the in-game dialogue interface. A data box lists basic game information like genre and publisher, but the main focus is clearly on the narrative culmination and the introduction of the new protagonists who will lead players through this final chapter. This page continues the in-depth look at Langrisser V, The End of Legend, focusing on its world, story, and gameplay systems, along with an interview with the development staff. The article confirms Langrisser vs. picks up directly after Langrisser IV, tying up loose ends from that game and bringing back characters like Gilzoff and others. Gameplay is built upon the foundation of Langrisser I4's simulation RPG system, retaining the action point mechanic and unit stacking, leader plus one mercenary unit type. A major new feature highlighted is the ability to mix different mercenary types under a single leader, adding strategic depth. Battle visuals are enhanced from Langrisser IV, featuring larger units and flashier effects. Screenshots showcase the improved battle scenes, the new mercenary mixing interface, and the game's world map, which moves away from a grid-based system. A key part of the page is an interview with producer Kenichiro Kuda and director Yasuharu Fukuda. They discuss why Langrisser V is positioned as the series' conclusion, the story's focus on resolving Langrisser V's plotlines, the character design, and the refinement of the game's systems to be accessible while retaining depth. They touch upon the heroines like Lambda, Claret, Brenda, and Jessica. While Langrisser V is intended as the finale, Kuda mentions a personal desire to explore different RPG projects in the future, utilizing his Langrisser experience. The page also features character portraits and screenshots of dialogue and key game interfaces like the shop. This page delves into the bizarre and intriguing world of Linda Cubed, the cult hit survival RPG. Originally a PC Engine title, this page highlights its upcoming complete version release on the PlayStation, promising an expanded and even more extreme experience. The core concept revolves around exploring a dying planet within an 8-year time limit, tasked with capturing male and female animals to fill an arc and escape before disaster strikes. While the animal collection mechanic might sound familiar, the game is framed as a psycho-horror experience filled with madness. Combat is a strategic affair, featuring a 360-degree perspective where enemies can attack from any direction. Captured animals aren't just for collecting. They're crucial for survival, serving as materials to craft weapons, food, or medicine, each with unique effects. Players can even absorb the abilities of registered animals, including the power to beastify in battle for special attacks. The page features key characters like Ken and Linda, the protagonists undertaking this desperate mission. It's a truly unique blend of collection, survival, and horror that stands out. This page provides a detailed look at the complete version of Linda Cubed, highlighting its differences from the earlier PlayStation release. It showcases the game's core structure around 3 distinct parallel scenarios, A, B, and C, each featuring a unique version of the protagonist Linda and offering a divergent storyline. A major focus is the restoration of content that was censored in the PS version, including violent and grotesque scenes, presenting the game closer to its original vision. System improvements are also noted for smoother gameplay. The page features a 6-size gallery mode for viewing artwork and cinematics, and confirms the inclusion of an original soundtrack CD. Screenshots and character illustrations emphasize the game's bizarre aesthetic and the variety of content in this expanded version. This page announces that Sikyo's arcade shooter, Soul Divide, is coming to the Sega Saturn. This isn't just a straight port. The Saturn version is based on the arcade game but includes extra content, denoted as Plus Alpha. Unlike typical sci-fi or war-themed shooters, Soul Divide is set in a fantasy world of swords and magic, featuring characters who fight flying monsters and mythical creatures. The core gameplay involves standard shooting, but a key feature is the unique slash attack, allowing players to get close and use melee strikes for high damage. Magic is also present, used via items found during gameplay, providing screen-clearing effects or powerful attacks. The article introduces the main playable characters: Kashan, a warrior seeking revenge; Teoral, a powerful magic user; Vorg, a dark knight; and Ibaba, a demon master. Each character has distinct abilities, particularly regarding their magic and slash attacks. The Saturn port promises smooth performance, reduced loading times, adjustable difficulty, and an all-new original mode, in addition to the arcade perfect version. The visuals capture the game's dark fantasy aesthetic, with detailed sprites and environments. This page features an article announcing Falcom Classics 2 for the Sega Saturn, a compilation of Nihon Falcom games. The main focus is an interview with Shinji Yamasaki, a managing director at Nihon Falcom, discussing the release. He talks about the decision to include a mix of RPG and adventure games like YS2, Templos del Sol, Azteca 2, and Castillo. Yamasaki touches upon the enhancements made for the Saturn version, including graphics, music arrangements, and new modes, while also aiming to preserve the feel of the original PC versions. The article includes screenshots of the included games, showcasing the updated visuals, and character art, notably featuring Lilia from YS2. Yamasaki expresses confidence in the compilation, appealing to both longtime fans and new players. This page features the Conehead Club, a section where readers share their experiences and thoughts on the Sega Saturn. Contributions cover diverse topics, from landing a job partly thanks to being a fan, to the unfortunate tale of a game collection, including a Saturn, surviving flood damage despite losses elsewhere. Another reader notes seeing their postcard featured in the club, and finding it in a store. There's mention of a Sega Saturn CD release, and its performance on a countdown chart, referencing a memorable commercial. The page also highlights Technomotor, described as music software that transforms the Sega Saturn into a musical instrument. It lists the release date as March 26th, with a price of 4,800 yen. A promotional tour, the Technomotor Yaketmotor Tour, is listed with numerous dates and locations across Japan, featuring artist Technosuke. Small panels showcase other content, including illustrations from first-time contributors, and features on games like Soul Hackers and Shining Force CD, along with a distinct image that might be from a visual novel. This page is a dedicated submission postcard for the Tim Saturn Fan Magazine. It's pre-addressed to 1116, Tim Saturn Fan No. 7. Minatoku, Higashi Shinbashi, 1116 Tokyo, Tim Saturn Fan No. 7 Kingdom of Saturn. Readers can use this postcard to submit content for specific sections, including the game score table and the Cornhead Club, as seen on the previous page. There are fields for personal details like name, address, phone number, pen name, and age. A note encourages readers to circle the intended submission category and highlights that using this pre-addressed postcard simplifies the submission process for letters, illustrations, and other contributions. This page is filled with reader contributions, showcasing the active Sega Saturn community. Sections like the Cornhead Club and Kids Hope feature letters and opinions from fans, discussing various games such as Lunar, Silver Star Story, the Panzer Dragoon series, Nights into Dreams, Daytona USA, and Virtua Fighter. Readers share their thoughts on console comparisons, game quality, ports, and expectations for future titles. The Sega AM Freaks section highlights illustrations related to Sega AM Division games, including fan art and brief comments about characters from Virtua Fighter, Nights into Dreams, and Sonic the Hedgehog. The illustration gallery displays a collection of fan artwork depicting characters from popular Saturn titles like Shining Force 2i, Sakura Wars, Guardian Heroes, Mysteria, The Realms of Lore, Princess Maker 2, and Magic Knight Ray Earth. Finally, the Illustration Hall of Fame celebrates top fan artists, showcasing a winning illustration that appears to feature characters from Dragon Force, and acknowledges previous winners for submissions related to games such as Grandia and Soul Hackers. Overall, the page provides a snapshot of reader engagement, opinions, and creativity centered around the Sega Saturn console and its games. This page presents a vibrant collection of reader contributions, focusing on fan art and opinions for various popular Sega Saturn games. Sections are dedicated to specific titles, including fan clubs for Dragon Force, where readers share illustrations and thoughts on characters like Goldark. Another section features contributions related to Grandia, highlighting fan art and comments about characters like Justin and Fina, with readers expressing their enjoyment. The Sakura Wars section, titled Taigeki Imperial Guards, showcases fan art of characters such as Sakura Shinguji and includes reader comments about their favorites. Darkstalkers, referred to as Vampire Groovy, also features fan art and discussions about characters like Dimitri. Contributions related to Neon Genesis Evangelion, likely referencing the Saturn games, show illustrations of Asuka and Shinji, with readers pondering character fates. Other sections cover games like 88th Grade Classmates and Paradigm S, featuring character art and notes on their themes. A unique section, the Record Preservation Committee, is dedicated to readers reporting their progress and completion status in challenging games, mentioning titles such as the Saturn port of Tactics Ogre, Riglord Saga, Sakura Wars, and Uno. This highlights the dedication of the community to mastering complex titles. Finally, there's a brief note outlining the basic rules for submitting fan art and letters. Overall, the page demonstrates the passionate and creative engagement of Saturn fans with their favorite games and characters. This page is packed with game rankings and market insights for the Sega Saturn scene. We kick off with the Saturn sales ranking, covering 2 weeks in March. The first week saw Let's Make a Professional Baseball Team holding the top spot, with Fear and Then and Sega Worldwide Soccer 98 also featuring prominently. The following week saw a shakeup with Eve the Lost One debuting at number 1, followed closely by Welcome to Pia Carrot, indicating strong interest in visual novels. Next up is the pre-release popularity ranking, showing reader excitement for upcoming titles. Sakura Wars 2 and Super Robot Wars F Final lead the pack, while anticipated releases like Darkstalkers 3 and Dragon Force 2 also rank highly. The ranking includes the mysterious Wordsworth, an elf title linked to the success of Uno. The desired port ranking reveals what games Saturn fans are clamoring for. PlayStation hits like Final Fantasy V2 and Tales of Destiny are popular requests, alongside arcade favorites like Makaimura and Street Fighter 2i. Notably, Treasure's acclaimed arcade shooter Radiant Silvergun debuts at number 15, showing significant support from dedicated players. The page also features a spotlight on Radiant Silvergun, Treasure's first arcade title, discussing its potential for a Saturn port, given the console's strong library of shooting games. Finally, there's a look at the Sega Ages series, which ports classic Sega games. A reader survey highlights desired titles like Michael Jackson's Moonwalker, but sadly, there are no current plans for a Sega Ages 2. This page presents the latest reader rankings and reviews for Sega Saturn games. The big news is that Pro Baseball Team, likely a Japanese baseball management sim, has taken the top spot, confirming its popularity, although the reviews section indicates quite mixed opinions from players. Following in the rankings are the RPG Sugo Bibenture Dragon Master Silk Gaiden at number 2, SD Gundam Century S, a strategic Gundam title, at 3rd place, and Tenant Wars, rounding out the top 4. The detailed reader feedback shows a clear split for the number 1 game, with nearly equal positive and negative feedback, suggesting it's a love-and-hate experience, focusing heavily on deep management mechanics rather than action. The other titles also receive varied comments, touching on elements like story, gameplay systems, and overall enjoyment. Developer comments offer brief responses to the feedback. There's also a call for readers to submit their own game reviews for a chance to receive special tickets. Finally, the page lists the games scheduled for review in the next issue, which include Time Commander, Eve the Lost One, Welcome to Pia Carrot, The Convenience Store 2, and Princess Quest. This page dives deeper into the real-time game rankings based on reader feedback, focusing heavily on the Sega Saturn titles up to February 19th. Topping the charts is the original Sakura Wars, followed closely by Super Robot Wars, Fi, Grandia, and even Burst Error. These rankings reflect the current sentiment of the readers. There's a specific section addressing the reader evaluation of Baseball Team, which, despite its high ranking, generated quite mixed opinions. Readers highlighted its strengths in deep simulation mechanics, but also pointed out areas where it fell short compared to other baseball management sims, leading to a love-hate reception among players who preferred different aspects of the genre. Additionally, the page presents the cumulative ranking of the top 20 games over the past 6 months, reinforcing the consistent popularity of titles like Sakura Wars, Super Robot Wars Fall, and even Burst Error over a longer period. The data is compiled from reader postcards, giving a direct snapshot of the community's favored games. This page presents a reader survey and a chance to win prizes. 50 lucky readers who fill out the survey will receive one of 10 different Sega Saturn games or items, including titles like Sakura Wars 2, Thou Shalt Not Die, Dragon Force 2, Riven, the sequel to Myst, and the Sega Ages Phantasy Star Collection. The survey asks readers about their gaming habits, the consoles and magazines they own, their opinions on games featured in the magazine, and demographic information. It also includes detailed instructions on how to fill out the postcard correctly for it to be processed by a computer. The page also briefly lists the magazine's criteria for evaluating games, such as character movement, sound, value, controls, and originality. This is a direct way for the magazine to gather feedback and engage with its readership. This page provides an extensive look at the Sega Saturn's software library as of March 19th. It functions as a comprehensive catalog, breaking down the available games by genre, including categories like fighting, simulation, adventure, RPG, shooting, sports, puzzle, table, and racing. While too numerous to list individually, many iconic Saturn titles are present across these genres. You'll find major fighting series represented, deep role-playing games, popular sports simulations, and innovative shooting and adventure titles. It gives a fantastic overview of the diverse range of experiences available on the platform at this specific point in its life cycle, showcasing the breadth of genres the Saturn was catering to. This page dives into the King of Fighters 97, showcasing a comprehensive guide to its special moves and revealing how to unlock hidden characters on the Sega Saturn. The vibrant artwork features core characters like Kyo Kusanagi and Iori Yagami, alongside the mysterious Orochi team members. The guide highlights the game's extensive roster, the largest in the series at the time, offering essential commands and basic strategies for new and returning players. It specifically details the methods to access hidden fighters, such as the 94 version of Kyo, and the powerful Orochi versions of Iori and Leona Hydern, complete with screenshots showing the button inputs on the character select screen. On the left side, a section compiles reader feedback from surveys. It includes diverse comments from players, rankings of the most and least interesting articles from previous issues, and lists the winners of a recent survey prize drawing. This provides a glimpse into the magazine's interactive elements and reader engagement. This page continues the deep dive into the King of Fighters 97, focusing on the game's core systems and offering detailed breakdowns of several key characters. It starts by revisiting the two distinct gameplay styles available, the 94 system, called Extra Mode here, and the 97 system, Advanced Mode, explaining that players can choose their preference before a match. The discussion moves into the crucial element of team battle strategy, highlighting character compatibility within a team and the introduction of support attacks, which are vital for high-level play. The page then transitions to character introductions, providing analysis and move lists for a selection of the game's roster. It features fan favorites like Kyo Kusanagi, emphasizing his core origami style for advanced mode, along with Terry Bogard and Andy Bogard, discussing their combo potential and key special moves. On the right side, it covers Benimaru Nikaido, Goro Daimon with his devastating throws, and the formidable Iori Yagami, detailing their signature techniques and strategic strengths. While the full move lists are presented in tables, the accompanying text offers tactical advice on how best to utilize each fighter in battle. This page continues the deep dive into the King of Fighters 97, focusing on a diverse cast of fighters. It breaks down the playstyles and strategies for Joe Higashi, highlighting his hurricane upper and versatility across both game modes. Ryo Sakazaki's offensive power and reliance on techniques like the Tiger Flame Punch and Tiger Genocide are discussed, noting his effectiveness in either style. Robert Garcia is shown with his varied footwork, strong zoning projectiles like the Phoenix Arrow, and powerful super special moves suitable for both modes. Yuri Sakazaki is presented as a versatile character with many useful techniques, particularly strong zoning and chase-down capabilities in advanced mode. On the right side, Leona Heidern's aerial combat prowess and use of the Verse Slasher projectile are featured, noting her strength in extra mode when utilizing power stock. Ralph Jones is highlighted as a punch-focused rushdown character, with moves like the Gatling attack and Super Argentine backbreaker being central to his game plan in advanced mode. Clark still is the grappler expert, emphasizing the need for power stock to unleash his devastating throws, especially the Super Argentine backbreaker, making him a force in extra mode. Finally, Athena Asamiya is introduced as a mobile, speed-focused fighter, using moves like the Psycho Sword, Phoenix Arrow, and Psycho Teleport for quick offense and chase-down tactics, particularly effective in advanced mode. The page provides the command inputs for their special moves, offering tactical advice on how to best utilize each fighter's unique abilities in battle. This page details fighting styles in King of Fighters. 97. Seikensu excels in advanced mode with hit-and-run tactics, using Super Ball and Dragon Tail. Shin Gensai's guard-breaking prowess is best utilized in extra mode, with Power Max and Drunken Master's Tiger Genocide. Blue Mary's powerful jump attacks and cancels, Spinfall M Spider, make her strong in advanced mode. Ryuji Yamazaki's zoning and high-damage Power Max Drill Super are best in advanced. Billy Kane's long staff provides zoning, suitable for both modes. Kim Kafwan's relentless rushdown style with Flying Phoenix Kicks and Phoenix Flattener is for advanced. Chang Kohan's Iron Ball moves for defense and zoning, and Power Max Iron Ball Great Escape are strong and advanced. Choi Bounge, a fast and unpredictable character, shines in advanced with Phoenix Flattener and Flying Phoenix Slash. Each character's section provides playstyle summaries, optimal modes, and move details. This page continues the character analysis for the King of Fighters. 97. This page breaks down the fighting styles of several popular characters. Chizuru Kagura excels in both modes, using her clones and techniques like Shiranui and Kamikazu for confusion and attack. Mai Shiranui is a master of air combat, with powerful jump attacks and cancels like the Flying Squirrel Dance, making her strong in advanced mode. King is highlighted for her powerful normal attacks and combos, particularly her Tornado Kick and Mirage Kick, making her best suited for advanced mode rushdown. Shingo Yabuki's strength lies in his destructive normal attacks and special moves like Sledgehammer and Final Impact, which can lead to easy knockdowns, favoring advanced mode. Shermie is described as a close-range grappler, with moves like Shermie Spiral and Shermie Carnival being key to her game in extra mode. Chris is an offensive rushdown character in advanced mode, combining speedy attacks and cancels like Slide Touch and Shooting Dancer. Yori Yagami remains a powerhouse in both modes, known for his versatile specials like Oniaki and Kototsuki In, and his devastating Maiden Masher Super. Finally, Shingo Yabuki, not the same as the one above, this refers to Kyo Kusanagi's disciple, is noted for his quick combo potential and unique moves like Burning Shingo, best utilized in advanced mode for offensive pressure. This page continues the strategy guide for Even the Lost One, focusing on the Kyoko Kirino arc, titled The Story, to Eldea, the Place of All Beginnings. This section details key plot points and progression after the initial events. The guide covers finding the culprit, escaping a tower with the assistance of Marina and Kojiro, and the subsequent journey to Eldea, where Kyoko is mistaken for an eloping partner. Further events include meeting new allies like Ruka and Meina, learning about the critical memory, and finally establishing contact with Queen Priscilla to advance the story. The guide features various screenshots depicting crucial character interactions and scenes, such as confrontations, meetings, and dramatic moments. A strategy chart is provided, outlining the necessary steps and locations for the June 5th segment of Kyoko's investigation. This page continues the strategy guide for Even the Lost One, detailing events for both Kyoko Kirino and Snake. The Kyoko section covers June 6th, starting with her escape from the hotel alongside Ruka, after receiving a mysterious email about an incident at the aquarium. The guide follows them as they journey to Acrinia village and attend a memorial service, disguised to avoid attention. A pivotal moment occurs during the service, as Even awakens, depicted visually as a flower blooming into a fully realized form. The segment concludes with Queen Priscilla delivering a powerful speech to the gathered public, announcing the existence of Eve and a promising new treatment. Screenshots show Kyoko and Yamato in disguise, the symbolic awakening of Eve, her full emergence, and Priscilla's address. The Snake section focuses on events from June 5th within the Altair Corporation building. It begins with Snake destroying a computer containing crucial evidence. He then confronts Sakakibara, revealing his true nature as the culprit, leading to a dramatic confrontation with President Kudo. Snake encounters Monica in the elevator hall, where she surprisingly intervenes. The guide then shifts to Snake meeting Monica again in a tea room, where they discuss the mysterious memory and form an alliance. Screenshots illustrate the computer room destruction, the heated argument between Sakakibara and Kudo, Snake's first meeting with Monica, a tense moment involving a gun, Monica in the tea room, and Snake interacting with Monica. The next page continues the strategy guide for Even the Lost One, focusing on Snake's path through June 5th and 6th. The guide details Snake's exploration of the Queen's palace, beginning with a somewhat nostalgic courtyard and leading him to mistakenly enter Priscilla's room, finding a beautiful Elbidian woman on the balcony. Events continue as Snake encounters Eve, who remains unresponsive, followed by a surprising reunion with Myrna, the young girl from the tea room, tied to Eve's awakening. Priscilla is shown in distress, shedding tears, before Eve mysteriously disappears from the palace. Snake then follows Priscilla to a Navania village after learning she left. The narrative moves to a moment of defeat for Snake, occurring during Priscilla's public announcement about a new drug called AD and the true nature of the memory. The guide concludes with the activation of the program Lostone, hinting at a looming worldwide disaster. Screenshots throughout the page depict various scenes, including the palace courtyard, Priscilla's room and balcony, the unresponsive Eve, Myrna, a tearful Priscilla with Snake, Snake with Romero's Archbishop, Monica, and the final ominous Lostone screen. This page continues the strategy content, focusing on two distinct games. The main subject appears to be the third installment of a strategy guide for the action game, Burning Rangers. It highlights an O-Make mode, where players can rescue development staff members. A table is shown detailing which staff members are rescued in which mission, and often lists passwords to access BGM modes or extra images, alongside mission completion conditions. Screenshots display the mission select screen and some in-game action. Alongside the Burning Rangers content, there's a significant section dedicated to the adventure game, Even the Lost One. This part serves as a complete guide to must-see events for specific female characters, Chiho, Izumi, and Hanai. It explains the importance of certain event types, like life/death events, point events, and gold events, for influencing character endings, and discusses the priority order for achieving different character endings. A list presents the ending priority for several female characters. A large illustration features two prominent female characters from Even the Lost One. Below this is a small section mentioning that Elliot and Clarice, from Nights into Dreams, appear in Burning Rangers as rescue targets if you have Night's save data. The page provides basic release information for both games without going into detail. This page continues the strategy guide for Even the Lost One, specifically focusing on triggering events for the character Chisato. It details various event types like important events, point events, life/death events, and gold events that are crucial for her storyline and endings. The guide covers events such as finding a moth in the maid's room, dealing with a pink paper bag, uncovering the secret of a cuckoo clock, handling a situation where Chisato is immobilized, and the Moonlight Promise event. Screenshots showcase character portraits, specific events CGS including a shower scene and a character trapped, and images of locations within the game. The text provides hints and steps for triggering these events, essential for players aiming to explore Chisato's paths and endings in the game. This page continues the strategy guide for Even the Lost One, shifting focus to triggering key events for the character Itsumi Hashima. It details various event types critical for progressing her story, including important events, point events, gold events, and a life/death event. The guide covers how to obtain an item needed for a gum-related event, finding Itsumi when Chisato is absent, discovering a pink paper bag, getting trapped with Itsumi in an elevator, and specific scenes reflecting her emotional state, including one where she's stuck and another showing her resolve. The page also covers a grim life/death event involving a corpse,
Screenshots showcase numerous character CGS and event scenes featuring Itsumi in different situations. This page provides a strategy guide focusing on Itsumi Hashima's events in Even the Lost One. This page continues the Eve the Lost One strategy guide, focusing specifically on achieving events for the character Kanai Hashima. It highlights her profile, including stats, and notes that obtaining her gold ending requires gathering points and avoiding missed events. The guide details various event types crucial for her story progression: important events, point events, and gold events. Key events covered include encountering Kane in the attic room, receiving a small gift, finding a puppy, learning the puppy's name and Kane's connection to it, witnessing a sudden change in the girl, discovering a diary, rescuing a trapped puppy, and triggering the significant Smile Again gold event. Each section provides context and requirements for activating the event, often involving specific actions or locations. The page features numerous screenshots showcasing Kane in different scenes, illustrating her interactions with the protagonist, and moments central to her narrative arc, vital for players aiming to unlock her specific endings. This page features a large advertisement for the Sega Saturn dating simulation game, Welcome to Pia Carrot! Ooh! Showcasing the game's anime art style with illustrations of the main female characters in their distinctive waitress uniforms. The ad highlights its release on the Sega Saturn, mentions a recommended age rating of 18+, and promotes the game's features, including original anime and scenarios unique to this version. The suggested retail price is listed as 6,800 yen before tax. The right side of the page is dedicated to the Game Research Lab, offering guides and tips for various Sega Saturn titles. This issue covers strategy for 6 different games. The main focus is on Let's Make a Pro Baseball Team, providing detailed strategy, including information on a hidden training camp located on the moon. This secret camp allows players to learn unique, zero-gravity breaking balls, and even recruit alien players by hiring special foreign scouts. A table outlines which player parameters increase at different training locations, like Okinawa, Hawaii, and the moon. The page also lists other games covered in this issue, including Let's Make a J.League Professional Soccer Club, 2, Technomotor, Pro Baseball Greatest 998, Tokimeki Memorial Drama Series Volume 2, Irodori no Love Song, and Suichu Pai Adventure Doki Doki Heart Nightmare, directing readers to their respective strategy pages. This page continues the strategy guide for Let's Make a Pro Baseball Team. Quote, delving into the capabilities of fictional players generated in the game. A large table details various fictional players, listing their salaries and potential for growth across different pitching and fielding parameters, giving players insight into which generated prospects are worth developing. Another section highlights foreign scouts, explaining their cost and the types of players they are likely to find based on region, allowing players to target specific nationalities for recruitment. The page also features the results of the first strongest team deciding match tournament, pitting teams built by the magazine's editorial department against those from the game's development team. The 4 competing teams were the Sapporo Tigers, Kagoshima Jellyfish, Sapporo Dynamites, and Chiba Hawks. The Sapporo Dynamites emerged victorious, winning 4 games, while the Chiba Hawks finished last with 2 wins. An overall review discusses the tournament, noting that the performance of key starting pitchers, such as Ishii and Matsui, whose stats are shown, was crucial to success. Finally, a password is provided for the Sapporo Dynamites team, and an announcement calls for readers to participate in a similar online tournament by submitting their own team passwords. This page dives deep into Pro Baseball Greatest 998, showcasing comprehensive player data for all 12 teams across Japan's Central and Pacific Leagues, plus 2 additional fictional teams. The core idea is empowering players to analyze individual player strengths and weaknesses to gain a strategic edge in games. The page explains how to interpret the detailed tables, which cover essential stats for both pitchers, like fastball speed and pitch breaks, and fielders, including hitting ability, power, speed, arm strength, catching skill, and defensive prowess in the infield and outfield. Large sections of the page are dedicated to presenting this extensive data for teams like the Hiroshima Toyo Carp, Yokohama Baystars, Yomiuri Giants, Chunichi Dragons, Yakult Swallows, and Hanshin Tigers, allowing players to scout and build their ideal team based on authentic player capabilities within the game. This page continues the in-depth look at Pro Baseball Greatest 998, by presenting comprehensive player data for more teams. You'll find detailed statistics for the Oryx Blue Wave, Seibu Lions, Lotte Marines,
Daiei Hawks, Nippon Ham Fighters, and Kintetsu Buffaloes, as well as the two fictional teams, the Dynamites and Niters. Just like the previous page, these extensive tables break down key attributes for both pitchers and fielders, offering players crucial insights into individual capabilities. Analyzing these stats, from a pitcher's varied repertoire and speed, to a fielder's hitting, speed, defense, and arm strength, is essential for building a winning lineup and executing effective strategies in the game. This page dives into the world of J-League Pro Soccer Club O Tsukuru 2, showcasing a unique dream match tournament organized by the magazine. The event featured teams composed entirely of edit players created and submitted by readers, all competing for glory. The page presents the results and detailed evaluations from 12 intense matches played between the 4 reader-assembled teams, A, B, C, and D. Each match section includes the score and a breakdown of player performance ratings, highlighting key contributions and moments from the games. The central question the article aims to answer is, who is the toughest and most fantastic player from these reader creations? Following the match reports, there's an awards ceremony section. It displays the final standings of the tournament, showing Team D finishing on top. It also announces the individual award winners. The Best Player award goes to Takeya Ikunari from D Team, while the MVP is awarded to Mitsu from D Team, along with honorable mentions for several other players. The page also includes details about the game's release and basic features. This page offers essential tips for players of Tokimeki Memorial Drama Series Volume 2, Irodori no Love Song, specifically focusing on how to tackle its challenging minigames and navigate character routes to achieve a happy ending. It breaks down strategies for the guitar, photo, and swimming minigames, detailing key timings and objectives with helpful screenshots showing both success and failure. The guide also delves into the story, presenting a chart for Shiori's path, discussing the dynamic wavy triangle relationship involving the protagonist and other characters, and explaining how to handle the delinquent battle sections, which require strategic defense. It's a comprehensive guide aimed at helping players master the game's unique elements and experience the full story. This page dives into the world of music creation on the Sega Saturn, with a practical course on Technomotor. It's designed for beginners looking to learn songwriting through hands-on data input. The guide starts with the basics, emphasizing the importance of sound selection and explaining how to build musical patterns step by step for melody, bass, and drums. It shows how even simple 4-bar patterns can be combined and arranged to create full songs, offering tips on structuring tracks effectively. The page showcases different musical styles using the software, demonstrating arrangements for technopop, reggae, and even a piece specifically titled Sega Saturn Shiro. Each section provides examples of the sound palette used and visual representations of the music data for different instrument tracks, illustrating how patterns come together. It highlights that creativity isn't limited by the number of patterns used, and even with few elements, skillful arrangement can produce impressive results. This is a fantastic resource for aspiring electronic musicians on the console. This page serves as a tutorial for the Sega Saturn music software Technomotor, guiding users through song creation basics and arrangement techniques with practical examples. This page dives back into the world of speech adventure Doki Doki Nightmare, offering the second part of its voice data strategy guide. The focus here is on obtaining 100% completion, including all CGS, movies, and crucially, all character voice data. The article specifically covers the voice events for the remaining 7 characters from Monday through Friday. The core of the guide is presented as detailed breakdowns for individual characters, including Ninomiya Kotori, Misaki Kyuko, Sakurai Yuri, and Sasaki Rumi. For each character, there are listings of specific events tied to obtaining voice data, detailing the required day of the week, time of day, location, and any special conditions or prerequisites. This structure helps players systematically track down and trigger every possible voice event. The game is described as a speech adventure title for the Sega Saturn, targeting mature audiences. The guide emphasizes that many voice events are tied to daily routines or specific interactions, and achieving full completion requires careful attention to the schedules and locations provided for each character. It's a practical guide for dedicated players looking to experience all the spoken content and unlock every secret the game has to offer. This page provides a follow-up report primarily focused on Super Robot Wars Final Chapter. The article delves into the game's story, revealing details about 4 episodes worth of scenarios. Key plot points mentioned include the return of the Zabi family, the appearance of a Mandara, and the escalating actions of the Titans, promising a narrative full of mystery and conflict. Character portraits and dialogue snippets featuring familiar faces like Misato Katsuragi, Bright Noah, Gihren Zabi, and Haman Karn give a taste of the interactions players can expect. The page also briefly touches on character events for a different game, likely a dating sim or adventure title, detailing event triggers based on day, time, and location. However, the bulk of the content showcases new units and characters appearing in Super Robot Wars' final chapter, with accompanying screenshots, hinting at the strategic depth and roster expansion in this concluding installment. This page is an application postcard for the Reader Presents, featured in Saturn Fan Magazine. It serves as a survey and entry form, requesting readers to provide their personal details including address, name, and phone number. A key section asks readers to evaluate games they have played from a list presented on page 77, providing feedback using a scoring system. There is also a space where applicants can specify which present they would like to receive from the selection offered in this issue. Super Robot Wars' first tactical guide details key battles. The Zabi family's return, including Gihren, Kycilia, and Dazzle, commanding Dross-class battleships, is a major plot point. Protecting the stationary Hokul unit during Amandala equals Kamandala is crucial. The Titans' attack on Sank Kingdom in The Kingdom of Garland escalates the conflict, emphasizing the need to save key characters. Finally, The Malice of the Titans features the resurrected Maycube and Zabi siblings, presenting a formidable challenge and the potential to recruit Duo Maxwell and the Gundam Death Scythe. The shocking revival of both the Zabis and Maxo Cube are highlighted. This page dives deeper into Mobile Suit Gundam, Gihren's ambition, specifically focusing on its endgame scenarios and the revelation of the final third force. It explains how player actions can lead to alternate historical paths, showing screenshots of various character dialogues and critical decision points that determine which faction emerges or how events unfold. The big news is the official reveal of the Neo Zeon mode, confirming it as one of the possible third forces players can command. This path features key characters like Char Aznable, sometimes identified by his real name, Kazval, leading a new movement against the Earth Federation following the turmoil caused by Gihren Zabi's. Screenshots highlight Char, Nanai Miguel, Flanagan Boone, and Lala Sune, showcasing the leaders and scenes from the Neo Zeon storyline, including Char dramatically standing before the Neo Zeon symbol. The page also includes standard game information in a table, and features graphics related to the game's military themes, emblems, and mobile suits, reinforcing its strategic simulation genre. The core message is the game's ability to let players experience diverse if stories based on the original Universal Century timeline, with a promise to showcase important ace pilots. This page introduces some of the iconic ace pilots who fought during the one-year war in the Universal Century timeline, crucial figures in Mobile Suit Gundam. Gihren's ambition. We see profiles for the infamous Red Comet, Char Aznable, known for his distinctive red Zaku 2 and incredible speed, a formidable pilot available early in the game who truly embodies the phrase, 3 times the speed. Next is Shin Matsunaga, the White Wolf of Solomon, recognized by his white custom Zaku T. He's a fiercely loyal pilot under Admiral Dazzle Zabi, whose combat prowess earned him a legendary status. His Ray 1 type Zaku was one of the earliest high-performance models developed. Then we meet Johnny Ridden, the Crimson Lightning, a rare American-blooded pilot in the Zeon forces. Known for his custom red Zaku 2R2 type, a high-mobility model, he achieved significant victories and was often mistaken for Char due to his color scheme. Finally, the Nightmare of Solomon, Anavel Gato, a devoted elite pilot serving the Zabi family. Known for his skills during the Battle of Solomon and later with the Delaz fleet, he represents a dedicated and dangerous opponent. The page also includes a section asking, "And who are they?" explaining that some of these pilots, specifically Johnny Ridden and Shin Matsunaga, were not initially prominent in the anime, but gained fame through Mobile Suit Variation, MSV, model kit series and side stories, becoming fan favorites and later appearing in games like this one. This page presents a detailed look at the romance-adventure game Oju-sama Tokyu Express. It centers around a carefree express train trip across Japan, offering encounters and potential romance with various girls met along the way. The core gameplay involves traveling by train, exploring different locations, tourist spot mode, and interacting with the characters encountered, with the goal of deepening relationships and potentially dating. The game features detailed train car interiors, in-car mode, and various tourist locations as backdrops for these interactions. The article includes screenshots showcasing the visual style, character portraits, and in-game scenes. It also features an interview segment with key creators Satoru Akahori and Toshiki Hanada, discussing the game's appeal and development. The game is described as a romance adventure with a unique travel element, promising memorable experiences and encounters throughout the nationwide journey. A small data box provides basic game information like genre and platform details. This page provides an exclusive look at the Sega Saturn version of the popular train simulation game, Densha de Go. The feature highlights that the Saturn port faithfully reproduces the arcade experience, particularly showcasing the beginner's seinen mainline course with its detailed polygonal environments and natural scenery. The article emphasizes the smooth graphical performance and authentic representation of the real-world route. A significant reveal is the inclusion of original elements not found in other console versions, specifically dynamic weather conditions. Players can experience driving the train under different weather, such as clear skies and snow, which impacts visibility and the overall gameplay feel. The screenshots showcase the game's visuals across various points on the track, including tunnels, stations, and scenic landscapes, along with the in-game HUD displaying speed, time, and other crucial information. The report conveys excitement for this accurate arcade conversion and the added depth provided by the unique Saturn features. This page dives into the new features of Gun Griffon 2, focusing on the expanded exercise and survival modes. The exercise mode brings back the familiar training ground from the previous game, but now includes a replay mode to analyze your performance. It also introduces different difficulty levels for practice, featuring maps with stationary or moving targets, and varying enemy density. The big addition is the survival mode, where the goal is to defend friendly targets from relentless enemy waves for a set time. This mode supports cooperative play via link cable, allowing two players to team up and survive the onslaught together. The report also previews the selection of mechs available in the game, mentioning that Gun Griffon 2 features more mechs than its predecessor, offering a variety of units with different capabilities for both combat and the new survival mode. This page dives into the Sega Saturn original battle system of Reinforced Multi-Terminal, a strategic simulation game. It highlights a significant departure from the PlayStation version, emphasizing agility as a crucial factor in combat. The turn order in battles is determined by a time count system based on each character's agility, not a fixed sequence. Players manage action points, AP, to perform actions like moving, attacking, or using skills within their turn, with AP and the next turn's count points, CP, both influenced by agility. New status effects, like paralysis, are also introduced. The page features introductions to several characters, including Sylvie, Angeletta, June, Nana, Sakuya, and Novena, showcasing small character portraits and dialogue snippets that hint at their personalities and roles. Notably, there's a section dedicated to a mysterious lay mode, where the characters appear in swimsuits, suggesting a bonus or fan service element. A gag section adds humor with comical dialogues. A producer's comment notes the strategic differences from the PS version and points out the initial absence of a character named Randy in the game's first year. This page announces a significant change for developer Societa Daikanyama, revealing that production of their X-rated Sega Saturn titles, the Yakuken Special and Haunted Casino, will cease on March 31, 1998. Shifting focus, the company is preparing to release a new game recommended for ages 18 and up, called Usama Game, Idol Free-for-All Kings Game, on May 28. This new title features a cast of idols, promising battles, winning, and the intriguing ability to order punishment games, suggesting a shift towards interactive idol entertainment with a mature twist, moving away from the earlier, strictly X-rated content. The page prominently displays the box art for the discontinued games, and teases the new Usama Game with a large image featuring a king and portraits of the idols who will appear in the game. This page is a vibrant advertisement for the 98 Spring Edition of the superb Daiwazarin, a massive game technique and strategy guide. The eye-catching title promises Ultra Technique 11,982 and humorously apologizes for how thick the book is. This definitive guide covers a wide range of systems, from Famicom and Super Famicom to Nintendo 64, PlayStation, Saturn, and more. It boasts a comprehensive game catalog and highlights an expanded focus on PlayStation and Saturn, adding over 1256 pages dedicated to these consoles. The book details techniques for 1193 PlayStation games, 1785 techniques, and 952 Saturn games, 1478 techniques. Key features include a wealth of ultra techniques, game introductions, and an exceptionally easy-to-use index for finding exactly what you need. Overseen by the authority of Ulutech, this publication prides itself on an overwhelming volume of data and its sheer size, claiming it's unlike anything else available. It's currently on sale for 1,200 yen. Riven. The sequel to Myst is a visually driven adventure game set in a world inspired by a book. Developed over 4 years, it features 5 islands to explore, continuing the story of Myst and the rescue of Catherine from her father. The game uses a point-and-click interface, thousands of CG images, and pre-rendered movies to create an immersive experience. Characters include Atrice, Catherine, and Gen. Riven's unique world, separate from reality, challenges players to observe and connect subtle clues found in journals and objects. A distinct civilization is depicted through its language, writing, artifacts, and transportation methods, like maglev systems and submarines. The Sega Ages Phantasy Star Collection brings together the first 4 Phantasy Star RPGs from the Master System and Genesis. Players can choose any game to experience the distinct worlds and stories. Phantasy Star Ein, Algo Solar System, features Alice's quest across 3 planets, incorporating swordplay, magic, and technology. Phantasy Star 2, Motavia, 1,000 years later, follows Rolf and his party battling biomonsters and Mother Brain. Phantasy Star 2, Generations of Doom, features a branching story on a world connected to Algo, influenced by player choices. Phantasy Star IV, End of the Millennium, concludes the Algo saga 1,000 years after 2, with Chaz and his team facing renewed threats. Bonus content like original TV commercials are included, making the collection a must-have for fans. This page introduces Waku Waku Puyo Puyo Dungeon, an exciting RPG that brings the beloved Puyo Puyo characters into a thrilling dungeon-crawling adventure. Set in the amusement park-like Puyo Puyo Land, players guide characters like Artrale, Rulu, or Sketso Wigi through mysterious dungeons filled with monsters and traps. The core mechanic features dungeons with layouts that change each time you enter, making every run a unique challenge. You'll find various items on the ground, essential for recovery and boosting your abilities. Combat is turn-based, involving physical attacks, magic, and strategic item use. Different characters excel in different areas. For instance, Arl is strong physically, but struggles with magic, while Rulyu is a master of spells. Exploring these attractions, as the dungeons are called, involves navigating randomly generated floors, avoiding traps, and battling increasingly tough enemies. Reaching the end of an attraction means facing a boss battle. Clearing attractions and collecting items also unlocks new areas to explore. The game features a ranking system, rewarding successful adventurers based on their performance. It looks like a solid dungeon crawler with the charm of the Puyo Puyo universe. The next page dives into the world of strategy with Nobunaga's Ambition version 2. This latest installment in the long-running historical simulation series by Koei challenges players to unite Japan as a Sengoku period. Daimyo. The game introduces a new system, where political and military actions occur directly on a single grand strategic map of Japan. You'll manage your territory, developing towns and fields to increase income, and recruit and manage generals, each with unique stats and skills. Combat is turn-based, when military units clash, emphasizing strategic positioning like attacking from the rear for significant advantage. Diplomacy is crucial, involving negotiations with other powerful lords. The page highlights various aspects of gameplay, including troop formations, character growth through promotion, expansion of territory by building branch castles, and dynamic events that can be historical or fictional, impacting the flow of the game. Players can choose from several historical scenarios, starting at different points in the Sengoku era, each presenting different challenges and starting conditions. Castle sieges are also a key feature, utilizing an auto-battle system influenced by troop strength and general abilities. This looks like a deep and engaging historical strategy experience for fans of the genre. This page features 2 simulation games. On the left is Junai Trial Love, a unique blend of racing and dating simulation. The game sets 2 primary goals for the player: becoming a racing champion and finding a girlfriend among the featured characters. It includes a race mode focused purely on driving and tuning cars, with options for time attack and versus races. and a scenario mode where players manage their schedule, train, tune cars, and interact with characters to build relationships. There are various cars to choose from, and detailed tuning options. The dialogue scenes with the girls are also a key part of the gameplay. On the right is Kumitate Battle Kutsuketo, a battle simulation game where players assemble characters using different parts to enhance their abilities. The game is set on the planet Mahomaho, where a tournament is held to determine the next king. Players form a team of 3 characters to challenge bosses, and ultimately the king, in turn-based combat. The battles involve using special moves and magic, and winning earns money and parts to upgrade characters in the shop. The shop allows players to buy new parts that change both stats and character appearance. It is also a password system, enabling players to battle against characters created by friends. This page showcases 2 distinct simulation experiences. On the left, we delve into Winning Post 3, a thoroughbred horse racing simulation where players step into the shoes of a stable owner and producer. The goal is to breed, raise, and train exceptional racehorses, managing every aspect from bloodlines to race strategies. Gameplay involves visiting the stable, interacting with trainers, gathering information on races and bloodlines, and, naturally, competing in races. There's also a neat feature allowing players to battle horses raised by friends using a password system. On the right, we switch gears to the high-octane world of Courier Crisis, an action simulation game that puts you in the role of a messenger boy navigating the streets of San Francisco on a mountain bike. The core objective is to deliver packages quickly, earning money to purchase better bikes. The game encourages performing tricks like the Air 360, tabletop, and cross-up, while also requiring players to evade the police. It's a fast-paced, trick-oriented delivery game with a focus on mastering the urban environment and bike maneuvers.
This page features an in-depth look at the charming 3D action platformer, Clockwork Knight, starring a crocodile protagonist. The coverage highlights the quest to rescue the trapped Pow Pow characters within the stages, showcasing various usable items like lamps and keys that aid in exploration and puzzle solving. It also details Clock's comical movements and attack repertoire, such as his hip attack and tail spin, emphasizing the game's quirky visual style, including the uniquely designed bosses. Additionally, the page introduces the magazine's refined review system for Saturn software, presenting reviewer profiles and their gaming preferences to offer context for their scores. It also lists upcoming software releases expected in April. Finally, there's a review of the strategy RPG Dragon Force 2, discussing its gameplay improvements over the original and offering score breakdowns from multiple reviewers who comment on its core mechanics and scenario. This page reviews 5 Sega Saturn games. Mobile Suit Gundam. Giran's Ambition receives high praise for its immersive world-building and strategic depth. Winning Post 3 is described as relaxing but potentially repetitive, with praise for the horse-racing aspects but criticism for the racing sequences. Nobunaga's Ambition. Sengoku Gunyuden is a solid port, well-received for its accessibility and engaging battles, though some reviewers wished for more significant improvements. Courier Crisis, a motorbike delivery game, is noted for its large mission count but repetitive gameplay loop. Finally, Waku Waku Puyo Puyo Dungeon blends Puyo Puyo and dungeon crawler elements, praised for its accessibility and charming presentation. This page features several reviews of Sega Saturn software. First up is the Sega Ages Phantasy Star Collection, compiling classic entries from the beloved RPG series. Reviewers praise this collection for its faithful ports and immense value, allowing players to revisit these foundational games or experience them for the first time, giving it high scores for nostalgia and content. Next is Wantangan Trial Love, a unique blend of racing and romance simulation. The racing mechanics were found to be decent, but the integration with the dating sim elements received mixed opinions. It offers an interesting concept, although some reviewers felt aspects could be stronger. Driven. The sequel to Myst is reviewed, showcasing impressive graphics and atmospheric visuals. Reviewers noted the demanding nature of the puzzles, characteristic of the series, finding the world-building captivating, but the difficulty potentially high for newcomers. Finally, Graduation 2.1. Wedding Bell, a character-raising simulation game, is discussed. The personalities of the characters were highlighted positively, along with various events throughout the game. However, some reviewers felt the core simulation system itself was somewhat basic or repetitive. The bottom section includes a reviewers' roundtable discussion, offering general impressions and thoughts from the magazine's staff on various topics and recent releases beyond the main reviews.
This page dives into the world of arcade prizes and features a deep dive into the game Eastwood. The Prize Explorer section highlights the latest Crane game rewards, featuring various figure and keychain collections. Sega fans can look out for the Sega Heroes special keychains, showcasing characters like Sonic, Ristar, Tails, Knuckles, Vectorman, and a Panzer Dragoon hero. Also featured are figures from Cyber Troopers Virtualon and cute mascot keychains based on Sakura Wars. On the Banpresto side, there's the Super Robot Wars Fierce Spirit Collection 4, including Evangelion units, Tokusatsu hero keychains, and sentimental graffiti figure keychains. Shifting focus, the page dedicates a section to the game Narrated. It includes an interview with Hitomi Yamariya, the voice actress for the character Saeki Hitomi, where she shares her thoughts on portraying the role. Additionally, the first installment of a character encyclopedia profiles Saeki Hitomi, detailing her background, personality, and role in Etude, accompanied by an illustration of the character. Finally, an announcement is made for an ongoing original story contest related to Etude, inviting fans to submit their own narratives. This page provides an exciting update on Cyber Troopers Virtualon Oratorio Tangram, focusing on a major national tournament, sparking the AM No. 3, held in Tokyo, which was the largest Virtualon event to date. The report details new combat mechanics introduced in the game, including strategic jump melee attacks and specific down attacks to punish opponents after knocking them off their feet. It also reveals the game's 4-player mode, which allows players to select any one of the other 3 participants as their opponent for a head-to-head match, rather than a battle royale format. Furthermore, the page showcases new actions for several Virtuoids. Feiyan the Knight is shown with a powered-up hand beam and a dynamic turbo shot attack, even featuring a massive heart beam. Raiden's lasers are significantly updated, now capable of lingering on the field to stun enemies and even chasing targets with homing shots, adding complex combo potential. Dorj Ray's signature drills can now strike through opponents, and its Hurricane weapon is effective at stunning, making these machines even more formidable on the battlefield. The article expresses anticipation for these new moves and strategies. This page continues the focus on Cyber Troopers Virtualon Oratorio Tangram, delving into the capabilities of various Virtuoids within the context of competitive play. We see detailed breakdowns of several units. Balbados is highlighted as a complex machine with trajectory-altering turboshots and a massive Flamane attack. Temujin is presented with its signature bomb focus and new special techniques, including specific turboshoot properties and a powerful turbo melee. The APHARMD series shows divergent evolution. The striker gains enhanced mobility and new grenade and knife attacks, while the battler compensates for lower base stats with increased firepower and a returning to Malfa melee. Popular Virtua Avroids, Spacine Chanef, and Cypher are also featured. Spacinef, known for chaotic fighting, gets a transforming long launcher and a potent multi-laser attack, despite its fragile armor. Cypher's attacks often turn into lasers, and it can transform into a striking flight mode, even having confirmed strongest weapons. Finally, Griezvok is shown as a pure missile specialist, with varied missile attacks, including a unique crouching turboshot. Angeline utilizes ice attacks, capable of freezing opponents or launching ice crystals, and has close-range staff combat. The magazine clearly enjoys exploring the strategic depth offered by each Virtuoid's distinct moveset in the game. This page is dedicated to revealing hyper-ultech hidden commands and tips for various Sega Saturn games, rated on a 1 to 5 scale based on usefulness and uniqueness, with the highest rated receiving a prize. Featured games include Langrissers, Dramatic Edition, offering tips for selecting scenarios, unlocking hidden options like BGM and sound effects, and accessing a hidden shop. Pro Yaku Team Wotsukuru provides tips for choosing secretaries and building large stadiums. For J.League Jikuhanu no Striker, there's a method for creating the ultimate team by maximizing player stats. Arcana Striker reveals a list of rare cards and the specific combined words needed to acquire them. Panzer Dragoon Saga players can learn about receiving an item from a character in the city and how the dragon model changes upon locking onto targets. Zaps! Snowboarding Tricks 98 has a tip for unlocking the hidden character Mr. Chicken. A tip for quickly moving the cursor on a schedule screen is also shown. Finally, SD Gundam G Century S provides a way to change unit parameters. The page also features a section inviting readers to submit their own hidden commands and tips.
This page features the Newswave section, covering the latest news from the Sega, Saturn, and game industry. Reports include a visit to the filming of the Sakura Wars 2 commercial, featuring Sagata Sanshiro and voice actress Megumi Yokoyama, capturing the friendly atmosphere on set. Another report details a large cul-de-sac tournament hosted by Sega, where 100 participants competed, culminating in a battle for the strongest scepter title. The 13th Sega Saturn Day event is also highlighted, focusing on the House of the Dead, with photos showing fans enjoying the arcade version. Topics include Sega theme parks, offering free entry to women based on specific criteria on certain days. A new shop called Asovini is announced to open in Harajuku, specializing in game character merchandise. A new trading card series featuring popular voice actors is introduced. Sega has launched a new online BBS service called Game Busters for discussing games. Finally, the page notes the 20th anniversary of the original Mobile Suit Gundam anime series and its upcoming release as a Laserdisc box set. The page features various images of the events, shop, and merchandise discussed. This page covers a mix of news and media releases. First, there's a report from the Tokyo Toy Show highlighting the abundance of character goods, featuring popular titles like Sakura Wars 2 and Sentimental Graffiti. Following that, a topic piece introduces Blue Submarine No. 6, an ambitious full digital animation project, mentioning the key creators involved and its planned release on Laserdisc and DVD. The middle section reviews various media releases. There are several music albums, including soundtracks for Sega Rally 2 and Game Tengoku, as well as character albums related to games like Kyogaku Soshite and Tokimeki Memorial, with one featuring Shiori Fujisaki herself. A video single connected to Tokimeki Memorial is also featured, along with an OVA adaptation of the popular PC game Dosokai, released as yesterday once more. Further reports cover the Milia 98 digital media show in France, noting the success of Japanese companies like Konami, with International Superstar Soccer 64, and Square with Final Fantasy Version 2. A spotlight piece features Philippe Ulrich, the French creator behind adaptations of Dune and Ubik, discussing his studio Cryogenic and the potential for his game Egyptide to come to the Sega Saturn. Finally, the page includes a giveaway section for various game-related items. This page previews upcoming games and a book. Mujintu Monogatari R. Futari no Love Island is a survival simulation dating sim where players must scavenge and build relationships on a deserted island. Mizuki Shigeru no Yokai Zukan Saoshuhen is a massive digital encyclopedia of yokai, featuring illustrations, descriptions, animations, and audio commentary from the creator. It also includes an adventure game, where you search for a missing figure. Finally, Ultraman Zukan 3 is the latest installment in the Ultraman Encyclopedia series, offering detailed information on monsters, teams, and characters from the franchise, including video clips of classic scenes and surprising cameos. This page is a report on the Tokyo Game Show 98 Spring event, highlighting new titles from Sega, Capcom, and others. The report covers the excitement of the show and introduces notable company booths and events. Sega's booth was a major draw, heavily promoting Sakura Wars 2, Thou Shalt Not Die, and showcasing World Cup 98 France. Road to Win! Among 4 other new titles. Visitors lined up to play these highly anticipated games and see the impressive displays, including character models and artwork. The page also previews other upcoming titles like Project X2, a sci-fi shooter with dynamic vertical and horizontal scrolling stages, and Square Sound Cube, a unique puzzle game where players match sound-emitting cubes. Finally, there's a look at Game Basic for Sega Saturn, a provisional release of a programming tool allowing users to create their own games using the BASIC language. Notable industry figures attending the show are also featured. This page continues the report on the Tokyo Game Show 98 Spring, showcasing various companies and their offerings. Capcom was present, highlighting the new fighting game Darkstalkers 3, Vampire Savior, which was playable. They also announced Capcom Generation, a series packaging classic titles, showing screenshots of iconic older games like Ghosts, Van Goblins, and Mega Man. Bandai focused on their Mobile Suit Gundam titles, including Mobile Suit Gundam, Giran's Greed, Giran's Ambition, and the New Millennium Empire. They noted the immense passion of Gundam fans. NEC Interchannel featured the playable simulation RPG Friends, Sparkle of Youth, praised for its graphics,
and hosted voice actor appearances, especially in Kadokawa Shuten, showcased Grandia, and featured popular game characters with numerous cosplayers. Japan Flex surprised attendees with a playable port of the train simulation game
Let's Go by Train, even including a train controller accessory.
ASC2 presented several port titles, including Linda Cubed Complete, and highlighted their game basic for Sega Saturn programming tool. Japan Computer System, Messiah, featured the new RPG Langrisser V,
The End of Legend, with a unique booth setup.
Data East displayed reference titles like Trilogy, The Punch, and Chelnov. Finally, Microsoft's Utsuka Tomonori discussed the company's role in the future of Sega hardware, emphasizing Windows CE and DirectX, suggesting a strong partnership ahead. There was also a mention of a fishing game from Victor Interactive Software, Village Country's explosive fishing Japan archipelago, noted for its realistic visuals. Cosplay was a popular highlight across several booths.
The next page features a comprehensive release calendar for upcoming Sega Saturn titles, starting from March and extending into July and beyond, with many titles having undecided release dates. It explains how to read the list, noting that entries highlighted in red are new additions to the calendar in this issue, while those in blue indicate changes to the release date or title name. The calendar lists the game title, developer or publisher, and the scheduled price. The list covers a wide variety of genres, including popular fighting games like King of Fighters, 97, and X-Men vs. Street Fighter, RPGs, such as Langrisser V, The End of Legend, and entries in the Shining Force 2i series, Horror with the House of the Dead, simulation games like Winning Post 3 and Sakura Wars 2, and ports of PC classics like Riven the sequel to Myst. The calendar provides a snapshot of the Sega Saturn's upcoming library, featuring games from major developers like Capcom, Konami, SNK, and Sega, among many others. It's a crucial resource for fans looking forward to new releases on the console. The next page prominently features Himitsu Sentai Metamor V, an anime-style adventure game for the Sega Saturn. It's described as having the feel of a TV anime, putting the player in command of the 5 Metamor V warriors, who are growth heroines protecting Earth. The core gameplay involves guiding the team through actions and conversations, with battle results and rising trust levels among members affecting the ending, adding replayability. This title was scheduled for release on April 23rd, at a price of 5,800 yen. The page includes character art and small screenshots, showing portraits and potential game interfaces. Looking ahead, the Now Making section teases upcoming features for the next issue, focusing on major spring strategy guides. They highlight coverage for heavy hitters like Sakura Wars 2, Mobile Suit Gundam, Giran's Ambition, Dragon Force 2, The House of the Dead, and a complete edition of Super Robot Wars feature, promising in-depth analysis. The page also includes a game index listing titles covered in the issue, such as Azel Panzer Dragoon RPG, Eve the Lost One, The King of Fighters 97, Sakura Wars 2, and Sega Ages Phantasy Star Collection, among others, directing readers to specific pages.
There's a brief explanation of how to read the game data tables found elsewhere in the magazine, outlining details like release dates, prices, genre, and player count. The next page is a feature or advertisement for Dungeon Master Nexus on the Sega Saturn. It prominently displays a menacing, red-hooded figure with a green face, representing the game's dark atmosphere. Glowing text across the top reads, "Welcome to the Labyrinth of Nightmare and Despair." The headline declares that the real-time RPG that shook the world is now revived as a complete 3D real-time RPG. The text highlights the game's polygon monsters, eerie dungeons, and intricate traps, promising an intense experience. It also briefly mentions the premise: forming a party of 4 heroes to rescue Lord Greylode from Mountain Asia's. 3 small screenshots illustrate the first-person perspective and gameplay interface. The page confirms the Sega Saturn version is on sale, priced at 6,800 yen, published by Victor Interactive Software. This page features a look at 2 distinct titles for the Saturn. On the left, we get a preview of Black/Matrix, a simulation RPG set in a dark fantasy world steeped in theological concepts like the 7 deadly sins, and featuring characters locked in a conflict between races with different types of wings. The artwork by Yuko Doi is prominent, showcasing the game's anime style. It's announced as coming soon, promising a strategic battle system tied to a complex narrative. On the right, the page serves as a special supplement highlight for Neon Genesis Evangelion Iron Maiden, Iconic characters Shinji Ikari and Asuka Langley Sohryu are shown alongside the powerful EVA Unit 01, giving fans a taste of the visual novel gameplay that explores character relationships within the Evangelion universe. This section acts as an exciting preview for fans of the acclaimed anime series getting ready to dive back into its world on the Saturn.